So, hello everyone, and welcome to our Conflict and the Struggle for Peace Explorations in Ireland and the Middle East webinar. There is a chat box. Please go ahead and add some questions there as we're going along, and then we'll have opportunities at the end to also have time for questions and answers as well. So my name is Graham Hesp. I am FIE Senior Director of Institutional Relations. I am based in the Midwest US and have the joy of working specifically with this program with our US colleges and universities and students who attend the program. I was on the program and with the students in 2016. And so many of the photographs that you'll see today are photographs that I took when I was with the students. And Julie, welcome from London.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julie. I'm FIE's Chief Academic Officer and Provost. And as Graham has just told you, I am in London, and that's where I've been based for a very long time. And I have participated as well with all aspects of the program in various years. So I'm really excited to be here today to introduce you to the program and get you thinking about applying.
So we don't want to take up too much of your time today, but this is hopefully what we will have the opportunity to cover over the next 30 minutes or so, which typically answers a lot of your questions. But as you see, the penultimate bullet there is an opportunity again for you to ask questions. But feel free as questions pop up, put them in the chat box, and then if we happen to have covered them since you wrote the question, no worries, we can just go on to the next question. So a very quick overview of the core program. It is 5 weeks and starts in Dublin, Ireland, and looks at the history of Ireland, Irish independence in 1922, and then includes a multi-night study tour to Northern Ireland, which is in the UK. We then continue on to Amman, Jordan, and this round-trip flight is included in the price that you pay. There is also an option for an additional Arabic language extension, adding 4 weeks to the program at the end of the core for a total of 9 weeks. We'll talk in depth in a little bit with some of the inclusions, but just as an overview right now, your housing, some of your meals, that round trip flight, as I talked about. The first day you arrive into Amman, we will put you up in a hotel. There will also be a small travel stipend in Amman to help offset the costs of cabs to and from the study center. And then when we fly back from Amman to Dublin, then we'll also again put you up in a hotel at the Dublin airport.
Graham, sorry to interrupt, but someone's just put in the chat that they can't see the slides.
Oh,
So I don't know if do you want to put your hand up if you aren't able to see the slides? Because I can see them. Okay, maybe it was just one person. So
okay,
okay,
that's good. Thank you. Yes, please feel free to, and Julie, if you can monitor the chat as well, that would help.
sure.
Let me get rid of that again. So, Julie, talk a little bit about the who we are and our on-the-ground assistance in Jordan.
Sure, absolutely. So FIE is headquartered in London, where I am. We have been operating as a not-for-profit study abroad provider since 1998. So that puts us over 25 years in operation. And London, Dublin, Madrid, Barcelona, and Amman are our program sites. In Amman, we operate in partnership with Amethyst, who have been around of even longer than us and assist us in organizing everything 360 approach to your experience on the ground in Jordan. So we've shared sort of the program since the beginning, and it's 15 years now in the making. So we've been doing it for a long time, a short hiatus during the pandemic. But it's a really powerful program and backed by two organizations that very much believe in the mission of study abroad and the particular topics that are addressed in this program. Okay, moving on to the dates. They're there on the screen. They're available on our website as well. As Graham said, you're initially in Ireland, then moving to the UK, Northern Ireland, and then on to Amman, Jordan. And that is the peace and conflict portion of the program from the 15th of June to the 19th of July. And if you're on a semester calendar, hopefully that works for you. If you're on a quarter program, hopefully that also works. We do have students who have been able to take their exams a bit early if they're on a quarter and that's their last week or their exam week. So, if that conflicts, that June 15th departure conflicts with any exams, talk to your study abroad office, talk to us. We may be able to, work something out. And then the second part of the program is the Arabic, intensive Arabic. And so that is 4 weeks. So you would stay on in Amman, Jordan, and continue till the 15th of August if you take that option.
So let's have a look at the structure of the program. So arriving into Dublin on Sunday, June 15th, so it probably means you are flying on the Saturday 14th overnight from the US. You can arrive at any time as long as you are in Dublin and ready to go on June 15th. So then we'll do some orientation, a City of Dublin walking tour. Classes will begin. We then do our multi-night study tour up to Northern Ireland. And then, as you see, Saturday, June 28th, we'll actually depart Dublin and arrive in Amman. And that's when we will stay in a hotel overnight. And then there will be another in-country orientation. Then you will go to your homestays. And then Monday, June 30th, classes will begin, and we'll also do a city tour of Amman. During your time in Jordan, there will be multiple co-curricular activities, many of which that will tie in directly to the curriculum. And then Friday, July 18th is when, if you were on the Peace and Conflict only program, you will depart Amman, arrive into Dublin, and as I said, we will put you up in a hotel at the airport that night. And then Saturday, July 19th, you are free to depart Dublin. Your program has officially ended. Obviously, if you want to stay in Ireland or hop over to Europe or something like that, you can do that, but the program has officially ended as far as it comes to insurance and this sort of thing. If you're staying in Jordan for the intensive Arabic add-on, then obviously you will finish with the students for the Peace and Conflict program on sort of around about July 17th. But then on July 21st, you will go through the Arabic language orientation, and then classes begin on the 22nd. We will still do some co-curricular experiences. And then the week of August 11th is final exams, reflection period, this sort of thing. And then again, just like the core program, you will leave August 14th back to Dublin, and then we will put you up in a hotel. And then August 15th, probably at this point, you are going to fly straight home. So August 15th, you're going to depart Dublin. And Julie, if you'd like to cover academics.
Sure. So Graham's already talked a bit about the subject matter of the program, and it's essentially two courses. And we do have a School of Record Transcript that is part of the program, and that will be 3 credits for each of the academic courses in the peace and conflict portion. The first course that covers your time in Ireland and Northern Ireland is Life Cycle of Peace and Conflict Lessons Learned in Northern Ireland. And without going into too much detail, because you can find the syllabus on our website, both of these syllabi, you're going to be looking at the troubles, what has occurred, is occurring, and is the sort of history of conflict in that region, and looking at that potentially as a model for resolving or understanding conflicts in the Middle East. And in Amman, then you will begin your second course, second 3-credit course, Views from Jordan, Humanity and the Future in the Wake of Peace and Uprising. And that course will cover not just the Arab-Israeli conflict, but a lot of regional conflicts that are present in the Middle East, and really inform your understanding of conflict, of diplomacy, and making some comparisons between the two regions. When it comes to expectations, the students we tend to have on the program are academically serious, really interested in the topics, and committed to study. I would hope that was always the case with study abroad, and I'm not saying it's not, but this program in particular, it's quite intense. The group is going to be small, so you're working very closely with the faculty on the ground in both sites, and you're really able to discuss and debate with your classmates and the faculty. There's some reading and writing that takes place before you even leave, so you're super prepared to really jump in and engage with the issues at hand. So yeah, the faculty, I guess I'll just say quickly, are both experts in their particular region in the study of peace and conflict resolution. And they will guide you and really cement your understanding and your ability to think about sort of what you might take forward into your lives as possibly leaders in conflict resolution. So yeah, that's the peace and conflict portion. And for those of you wanting to stay on and do the Arabic is offered at all levels, so you don't have to have a grounding in Arabic. You can start at the beginner level. When it comes to studying a language, if you've done so previously, there is nothing that compares to doing that on the ground in a country where the language is spoken. And we'll get on to the housing, but particularly because you're doing homestays in Jordan throughout, you're going to have that ability to have a real life experience speaking the language with your host family members, but also out in public to really use your Arabic. And the course itself, the Arabic course, it's a blended course where you're learning colloquial Jordanian Arabic, so the Jordanian dialect, as well as modern standard Arabic. And as I said, it's offered at all levels. You will have a placement test if you have an Arabic background, and that will allow you to be placed in the right level. And we'll also look at, the previous semesters that you've taken in Arabic. And yeah, it's an amazing opportunity to stay on and get that experience and really raise your skill level in a relatively short amount of time.
So it is a very in-depth, hands-on experience with a lot of experiential learning occurring. I mentioned the walking tour of Dublin. We'll go to things like the Irish Parliament, Glasnevin Cemetery, Kilmainham Jail. Then you're looking right now at the multi-night excursion to Northern Ireland, and going to Derry/Londonderry. You'll understand the importance of the slash there. And then going up to Belfast, doing the mural tour. Stormont Castle, you see there, which is the home of the Northern Ireland Assembly. And in Amman, we talked about the city tour, the Roman amphitheater you just saw. We have an overnight excursion to the south and the Wadi Rum Desert, also going to see the ancient city of Petra. At some point, we'll also do a day trip to the north, going to Al June Castle and the Roman city of Jerash. The year I was there, we actually went to the Israeli embassy and had a face-to-face meeting with the Israeli ambassador, and students were able to question her onto some of the official Israeli responses. Obviously, she couldn't give any personal opinions. We've also met with tribal chieftains, again, expanding that piece of looking beyond just Arab-Israeli conflict. And then some of the pictures you see now, the biblical Jordan tour going to Madaba, which is an ancient church with a mosaic in the floor that actually has been carbon dated and shows the journey of Jesus 2,000 years ago. Mount Nebo, which is where Moses finally saw the promised land before he dropped down dead. He never actually made it into the promised land. And then the weirdest experience you can ever have, swimming in the Dead Sea. Julie, housing.
Right. So you'll have various types of accommodation while you are on the program. Um, like every aspect of study abroad and travel, having an open mind, being flexible, and being cooperative with your fellow classmates. You'll be fine in sort of changing around to the different cities and the different types of accommodation. In Dublin, you'll be based in the city center, and that's also where you'll be taking your classes, which will be a short commute away. The housing that we generally use are single rooms with ensuite. However, depending on the size of the program and so on, sometimes we do use accommodation that is twin. So just be aware of that. It could be one or the other. And in terms of your meals, as the slide says, in Dublin, you would be sort of either cooking your own meals in the accommodation or going out. When you move on to Northern Ireland, it's a few nights, and for that you would be staying in hotels or bed and breakfasts, and in terms of sharing rooms could be anything from twin rooms to triples to quads. So again, just be prepared for that. When you arrive in Amman, Jordan, you will be introduced very soon after arrival, the next day, to your host family. So this is, as I said, an amazing opportunity to understand the culture, start to learn the language, and really just be immersed. And when it comes to matching, this is our Amethyst are experts in this, in sourcing families. Often they will have had students staying with them for over many years, and they will be there to help you make sure that you're sort of getting on with things and are comfortable, and as I said, are really kind of start to be part of the fabric of the family and the culture. So yeah, that's, if I missed anything, Graham, you can fill it in.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
So your health, safety, and well-being are of the utmost importance to us here at FIE. Through preparation, orientation, all of our friendly staff, we ensure you are fully supported throughout your entire study abroad experience. Both FIE and Amid East have extensive emergency response plans, which we will adhere to in the unlikely event of a city or countrywide emergency. And specific information is provided during our extensive pre-departure and in-country orientations. During the entire program, you will have medical and accident insurance through CISI. And in addition to medical insurance, CISI provides high-quality political and natural disaster evacuation coverage. Once on the program, the FIE and Amid East program staff will help students deal with any medical issues if they arise. Both have a list of recommended providers and hospitals in all of our host cities and in the areas visited on excursions as well. In addition, while in Jordan, students are provided with local cell phones for any emergency contact. So the US State Department has what I refer to as a traffic light system, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as with most of the world, Jordan and the UK, so that includes Northern Ireland, is currently rated as level 2, exercise increased caution. This is the same as most of Western Europe. So it's not unusual in the springtime for me to end up having a conversation with some parents who express some concern about their child going to the Middle East. I am more than happy to do that. So please feel free, pass my contact information on to them. But what I ask the parents is, would you feel comfortable if your child went in the summer to study in Florence or to study in Paris or to go to FIE in London? If the answer to that is yes, then I remind them that Jordan is that exact same level of risk according to the US State Department. Now, somewhat unusually, Ireland is actually level 1. There's actually very few countries in the world that are ranked as level 1, but Ireland is one of them. So how do I pay for it all? So multiple scholarships are available. And please note that this upcoming Saturday is the deadline for the FIE Conflict and the Struggle for Peace Scholarship. That is $1,000. I would urge you to chat with your study abroad advisor, chat with the Alumni Association, chat with any national organizations, honor societies, fraternities, sororities you may be members of, because they oftentimes have study abroad scholarships as well. Most of our students also use their FAFSA financial aid. And so again, have that conversation with your study abroad advisor and with your individual financial aid advisor. There are a couple of other scholarships that are available sort of through the FAFSA system and some separate applications. So if you are a Pell Grant recipient, then I would urge you to chat with your study abroad advisor about the Gilman Scholarship, because you are eligible to use the Gilman for this program. And then this one is a bit of a weird mix, but we do have a very disparate variety of students going on this program. They're not just international relations, diplomacy, peace studies majors. So if you are a STEM student who is planning to stay on for Arabic, then you can actually also apply for the US State Department's Boren Scholarship, which is actually a hefty chunk of money. So again, have that conversation with your study abroad advisor. And again, if you are looking at staying on for Arabic, that interestingly, most of our students now actually do stay on for Arabic. It's changed over the 15 years. Then there are additional scholarships available through Amid East as well. particularly like that video, A, because it is 100% student made. But more importantly, that was actually a shout out to Ohio State, an Ohio State student who made the video totally unprompted and came back to the US and dropped me an email and said, "Hey, I made this video if you'd like to see it." And so that kind of just gives a very quick overview of the multiple experiences that you have on this program. You saw Evan actually in the video there. Evan is one of the unique characters. He was actually an accountancy major at DePaul University, and he came on the program in between his junior and senior year, and actually stayed on for Arabic as well. And as you can see, life-changing experience. That's what he calls it. It's not unusual for our students to make references like that. He talks about one of the greatest classroom experiences I have ever had. Now, the interesting dynamic is as he was graduating, he went for his interview to become an accountant. And of course, a good quality school, he's going to have his accountancy degree, same as every other applicant going for that job. And as you've heard, it's all about making yourself look different. And he's still convinced to this day he got his job as an accountant because of this program and this experience, because this was the only thing they talked about during the job interview. Another student, this time from University of Arkansas and Ryland, you see there an incredibly eye-opening opportunity. New viewpoint fundamentally changed the way I look at international affairs. So lots and lots of great references that are out there, excuse me, for students who have been on this program over the years. Now, this is your opportunity. I'm going to ask Julie to see if there are any questions right now. Oh, let me go back session. Do we have anything? I see a couple of chats there.
Yeah, Graham. So, Mary has asked whether or not you have to be a currently enrolled student. And I did answer it in the chat, but just so that everyone can also hear the answer. The answer is that we do make an exception for this program as long as students on their application express their commitment and why they would want to do the program after they've graduated. And like I said, they will be enrolled at our school of record, so you will be receiving a grade and a transcript. So there is that motivation to still give it your all, because it will still be part of your academic record, your overall educational record at university. But the answer is yes, that we would still welcome you to participate, even if you are just graduated.
And I think the other clarifying piece as well is, while we are predominantly an undergraduate study and internship provider, we oftentimes will have master's level students on this program as well. Yeah. So even if you are getting ready to graduate and maybe going into international relations at the graduate level, then we can certainly accept you, and hopefully these courses will count for that graduate credit as well. I have another question there, Julie. What if I want to travel before or after the program? And we kind of touched on the fact that there is that round trip flight included. But what happens if I want to stay in Jordan, or if I want to travel from Dublin?
Okay, so yeah, it's a good question. As Graham already stated, you're being booked on a group flight from Dublin to Amman and back, and those dates, we will not change those for you. If you intend to travel after, let's say, then it is up to you to pay any fees. You would be put in touch with our travel agent. to make those arrangements if you wanted to, but you must be aware that outside of the program dates on either side, you would be responsible for yourself entirely. Okay, so whether that's from the point of view of insurance or accommodation, or should you have some kind of health emergency, or there would be an emergency on the ground, you would need to be prepared to be responsible for your own travels and your own self. So yes, it is possible, but you just need to be kind of aware of what that would mean.
And then a question that came in to me, can I choose my roommates? So it is possible, kind of Julie touched on this. It must be done before the end of April and prior to departure. As we always say to students on all of our programs, please choose wisely, because it is not possible to make a request or to change a request after we've started the roommate process at the end of April. And so hopefully you don't just meet somebody through this webinar and then decide that you want to share rooms for the rest of the time. So yes, we can, but choose wisely. And then I have one
Yeah.
more question. I'll bounce to you, Julie. I don't speak Arabic. How will I interact with my homestay family?
Okay, yeah, another good question. So, the homestay families are again very carefully vetted and selected, and you are carefully matched to them. So, if you were someone who didn't have any Arabic, then we would look to be putting you with a family where at least one member of the family spoke English to a level that you would be able to function in the home. Obviously, we would hope that you would want to kind of start to learn a bit of Arabic. Um, but yeah, you would be sort of matched with the family based on a whole bunch of factors, but one of them would be whether or not you had Arabic or not. So you will get on fine without it. I mean, anytime you're in a country where English is not the main language, obviously you've got to kind of negotiate and navigate, but you wouldn't be in a family where you were unable to communicate because no one spoke English.
I don't see any other questions, but feel free if you suddenly get something, drop it into the chat box and we'll cover it right before we wrap up. But
Graham,
looking,
actually, I do see
oh,
one there. Someone's asking just for confirmation of the application deadline. So just to confirm that basically we're a month out. So Graham talked about the scholarship deadline is this Saturday because it's a month before the actual application deadline. And that application deadline is the 15th of March. But of course, we would encourage you to get your application in as soon as possible. But yeah, March 15th. Yeah, sorry.
perfect. Just as a reminder, if you haven't done so already, any of the students on the call, please sign up for more information. I will follow up with a quite in-depth email with lots of links to our website, details on that scholarship, the application deadline, etc. So looking at next steps, you've already taken the first step of being on the webinar and asking some questions. So chat with your campus academic advisor, see if this could fit in as a major credit or elective credit. Talk to your study abroad advisor, see what the steps are. Every campus is a little bit different, especially when it relates to summertime programs. Importantly, talk with your family. And as I said, every year I end up speaking with one or two family members. And so it is okay for them to be a little concerned. And I am happy to chat with them about my on the ground experiences. By Saturday, even if you're not 100% sure if you're going to do the program, go ahead and apply for the FIE scholarship by that deadline on Saturday. because the least that way you will know whether or not you have received the scholarship, and then you have another month to apply for the program. And then while that's going on, apply for those other scholarships, financial aid, talk to your financial aid advisor. And then, as I mentioned, there will be a lot of FIE and Amity pre-departure online orientations, emails, webinars, and then, of course, on-the-ground orientations as well. And throughout this entire process, please keep asking questions. So there's my contact information. I am on US Central Time. Send me a text, drop me an email, fill out that form to get more information. And if you suddenly get a question later on this afternoon, over the weekend, feel free, reach out to me, and we can make sure all of your questions are answered and you can truly have that life-changing experience. Any closing thoughts, comments? Oh, a question just popped up. It was just a thank you. Perfect. Thank you, Mary. Any closing thoughts, observations, Julie?
No, just, I just echo what Graham said. It is an amazing program. It's always been an important topic, but it's such an important topic now. And yeah, I love the program. We're both sort of converts. And yeah, we just look forward to welcoming you all to have the same experience this summer. So yeah, we hope to see you.
Thank you, everyone. As I say, reach out to me with any questions as they pop up. And thank you for the time today.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.